All right, in this video, we're going to talk about going full circle as a parent. In another video, we talked about parenting on purpose. And if you're a Christian parent, you should be very purposeful about raising your kids. Make sure that you're not thinking wrong about it, but you really have a good plan. You have a clear strategy. Now, Tracy and I, the strategy that we use, we call it going full circle. We want to go full circle, and we want our kids to go full circle as pursuers of God. All right, this is a quick overview of what it means to go full circle, and you can check out this entire series. It's called Foundations at pursuegod.org, but we're using this image right here, and we're talking about doing these three things. And notice the first thing is that, to trust Jesus. You know, my wife and I want to make sure that our kids learn to trust Jesus, not just for their salvation. You know, that we start a relationship with God by trusting Jesus. That certainly is true. But also we want them to trust his perspective in their life. You know, our culture is filled with people who have all kinds of opinions, and we really like to teach our kids to have a biblical worldview, to approach every decision, everything in their life, and ask, well, what would Jesus say about this? What is his perspective on this? That's called trusting Jesus. So we don't just trust Jesus for salvation, that's the first thing, but we also trust Jesus for everything that we do in our life. So first and foremost, we want our kids to trust the perspective of God. We want them to have a biblical worldview. Now that leads to the second thing. It leads to how you live your life. We live to honor God. We want our kids to know that there's a right way to live and there's a wrong way to live. You know, it's not just do whatever you want, follow your heart, but really that being a follower of Jesus means that we try to honor God in every decision we make, every action that we take. And so we try to model that for our kids because we're not going to ask them to do something that we ourselves aren't doing. So we really want our kids to get to this second thing, to live to honor God. 2 Corinthians 5 says it like this. This means that anyone who belongs to Christ has become a new person. The old life is gone and a new life has begun. So again, as parents, we try to model that we honor God in our decisions and our daily decisions because we want our kids to do the same thing. We want them to honor God with their decisions. And then there's this third thing, and most people fail to get to this third thing, and it's to help other people. In fact, the way that you mature is by helping other people. Now again, another word for this is mentoring. We want to make sure that our kids go full circle, not just that they trust Jesus, that's important, or that they honor God with their choices, but that they fulfill the Great Commission. You know, Jesus told us, if you want to be my follower, you've got to help someone else be a follower. In Matthew 28, he told his disciples, I've been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations. You know, Tracy and I, we mentor people. We make a very significant commitment to do this every single week. There's a handful of people that we pour into, not to mention our kids. We mentor our kids, but we want our kids to learn that same thing because we don't believe that our kids will really own it and have this deep, abiding conviction if they don't help someone else. So many of my friends growing up, they were just consumers. They would go to church and then they would go home. And a lot of those kids, they're adults now, they're not following God anymore. I think one of the reasons is because they never got in the game. They never made disciples. They were always consumers, takers rather than givers. And so it never really went that deep in their heart. We want faith to go deep in our kids' heart. You know, that's the ultimate win, is that our kids go full circle and not just trust Jesus and honor God, but actually start helping other people in their world, in their life, by mentoring them. And that's what the resources online are helpful for. So we mentor people, my wife and I do, using those resources at pursuegod.org. And our kids are now mentoring people. And that is such a win. You know, I don't care really what they do for a living. That's wonderful. They're great at school, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, what we're most interested in is that these kids, our kids, go full circle. And if we don't do that as parents, then there's no way that they're going to do that either. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Now, we preached a whole sermon on having purpose in parenting. You can check that out. I'll leave a link to that here. And also, I encourage you to use the resources here. Use this video to start a conversation. Talk about this with your spouse, with a small group, or with a mentor. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this one to help you to do life better.